Antonio Today, the only local news station with nonstop news.
It is what we do. Good morning. Nonstop News starts right now. We are the only TV station in town commercial free all the way up to the top of the hour.
We have you covered this morning, including a look at traffic with Joy and a look at your weather with Jeannette. Good morning, Jeannette.
Good morning. It is fantastic this morning. 69 degrees under a clear sky in San Antonio. Some spots on the north side of town in the low 60s. So glorious out there. Enjoy it. Humidity low. In fact, nearly absent. Good weekend to be outdoors because that chance for rain that I did have for the upcoming weekend, that has gone away. A very tough pattern for us to see any rain. Upper level ridge will keep things dry. That's going to keep any storm system or any cold front from entering the region. Now, I do want to point out that I do have a very small rain chance tomorrow and then possibly a slight rain chance Friday. But don't cancel those outdoor plans because most of the time and most of the area will be dry. It is September 10th. This means it is the day that the hurricane season peaks in the Atlantic Basin. We'll talk about what to expect in the tropics coming up in your full forecast in under 10 minutes.
Live from your South Texas Ford dealer Sky 4, we've been tracking a series of unfortunate events over on the east side. 3 wrecks, all one after another in the same area. 2 of those crashes were rollover accidents. Photojournalist David Mendoza watching it all unfold from the beginning. We're going to go to him now for the latest on how things are shaping up. David, you've mentioned one of those wrecks has now cleared, but 2 we are still dealing with. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. That's correct. So the first accident we responded to, the rollover on 410 and Old Seguin Road in the northbound lanes, has cleared. So that part of 410 is opened up. We're on Benz Engelman and Old Seguin Road right now, right at the intersection with a 3-vehicle accident. It's causing a delay. We still have a vehicle on its side right now. I haven't seen any paramedic units. Also on 410, we have another accident over here. This looks like a single vehicle with the front end completely smashed up. Looks like a lane is closed right after I-10 on the northbound lanes of 410. So the east side right now is really feeling the hurt with all these accidents, especially this one over here. This is the most severe and most substantial one. But again, I don't believe anybody was actually hurt or needed to be transported during this accident. We are going to have to see a big cleanup to get this vehicle rolled over, back on its wheels, and transported out of here because you can't drive that thing. I'm going to continue over this. I'll let you know anything else I learn. Back to you.
All right, David, thank you. We appreciate you as always. And so moving forward now, we still have some more time on this accident here. That's the one that's slowing us down the most along Seguin Road and Benz Engelman. Loop 410, those northbound lanes had got up to about a 20 to 30 minute delay with that initial crash. We got those lanes back open, but then as David mentioned, just north of Highway 90 and I-10, that's where we saw yet another crash in the same lanes along 410. So still a lot unfolding here. Moving on from the east side briefly, we do also have a crash on the northeast side of San Antonio, Loop 1604 westbound at Redland. 15 to 20 minute delay behind that, and then downtown we're now up to a 20-minute delay behind those construction closures in the northbound lanes of I-35 at South Alamo Street. A lot happening. We'll continue to walk you through it right here with your on-time traffic.
Emma Allen at the light desk. A brand new report just coming in shows the death rate in the United States last year dropped back to pre-pandemic levels. According to a new Center for Disease Control and Prevention report, there were nearly 3.1 million deaths overall in 2024. Heart disease and cancer accounted for more than 40% of those deaths. Drug overdoses and other unintentional injuries were the third leading cause of death, and there were still tens of thousands of COVID-19 deaths, but the CDC says it fell out of the top 10 leading causes of death for the first time since the pandemic started. That's the latest from the live desk.
All right, Emma, thank you. Looking ahead, University Health and Bexar County are offering free flu shots as part of the community immunization partnership. There are 4 free drive-through clinics that are happening over the next few months. The first is Saturday at the Precinct 1 satellite office. That's in front of Bel Air Elementary School on the south side. Opens up at 8 a.m. and goes until noon.
UIW and UTSA are getting fans pumped for Saturday's hometown showdown. They held a joint pep rally at the Pearl last night. Both mascots were out there. UTSA and UIW are also teaming up for a school supply drive to support Texas Hill Country schools that were impacted by the devastating flooding on July 4th.
that's a soccer match, and that could be coming to San Antonio via the Spurs. So Wemby's taking things to a whole new level. He wants to bring Euro soccer enthusiasm to the NBA here in San Antonio. This is Wemby's idea. He's been pitching it to the Spurs now for a couple of seasons, and apparently this is about to become a reality. Right now it's called the Spurs Supporter Section, but that name will soon change. So Victor is a huge fan of soccer teams in Europe, certainly those teams in Paris. There is a group called the Ultras. They're world famous. There are coordinated chants, marches, and they cheer nonstop during these matches. Well, Victor and the Spurs are now going to have a dedicated section for, I guess, what we're calling super fans. But you got to try out. Listen.
We're gonna hold what do you call, like a selection, you know, try to notice who are the very most dedicated amongst the dedicated, you know, and hold tryouts, have practices just like we do with the team, you know, and figure out what chants we want, you know, what name, what logo, and what messages we want to tell the world in the NBA.
He's an interesting dude. All right, so here are the details that we know right now. In order to try out, you have to attend a tryout session at Freeman Expo Hall. It's Sunday, this Sunday. Fans will also have to RSVP for all that. For all the information, there's a lot of details we don't want to get into right now on TV. You can go online and find all of that. Look for this story on our website at news4sa.com.
It'll be interesting to see all the folks trying out.
Yeah, the gear and masks and all kinds of stuff. Cool. You'd look good in all that kind of garb.
I would, yeah, I would.
This Friday, Haven for Hope will host its Fall Community Resource Fair in order to help their clients and other people here in the community get connected to support services.
News 4 San Antonio's Tawny Davis is live right now with what organizations plan to lend a helping hand and how people can take advantage of the help. Good morning, Tawny.
Good morning. So some of the sponsors are going to be offering things like jobs as well as helping with housing and even medical services, all to make sure that the Haven for Hope clients are getting a helping hand. There will also be over 100 organizations at the resource fair or at the event to connect people with the resources they are looking for. Vision, dental, counseling, and veteran services will also be provided. If someone is looking for a job, an income and skills development team will be there with people to work with people on what their plans are and connect them with many job openings in San Antonio. They will also sit down with them to learn what their skill set is and where they fit best. One of the main goals for Haven for Hope clients is to find permanent housing. The organization will actually be offering a landlord open house. Property owners and landlords will be there to learn about how they can help people find a home.
And to learn more about, renting to someone who might have a previous eviction or might have bounced around a bit, and really help them understand that our clients are learning to budget, they're learning financial responsibility, and that they're a good candidate for a renter.
Also, as flu season is quickly approaching, Central Med will be there to offer their services. Various vaccines will be available like pneumonia, flu, and others that they may need. Now, Bailing says it's important to show their clients and the community what they have to offer so that they may be able to help them. Now, this resource fair, like I said, is on Friday on September 12th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. and it will be at Haven for Hope's Volunteer Center parking lot over on 1 Haven for Hope Way. Reporting live, I'm Tawny Davis. Back to you.
I know, it says Monday. Bear with me here. If you missed Sock It to Monday a couple of days ago, we are using this week's socks as a way to get you guys to nominate your favorite teacher. And I love today's entry. Diane wants to give a shout out to her daughter, Jenna Cepeda. Jenna's a star for Northside ISD to all of her first grade kiddos. We hear that students love Ms. Zepeda's out-of-the-box thinking, including how she uses Oreos to teach the phases of the moon. Cookies and science. Genius. I love it. Quote, all of her students become her children. Diane is also a teacher, so the family has a track record of what works with kids, and it starts with love. So to the entire Cepeda family, congrats and thank you for what you do for kids here in San Antonio. If you'd like to give your favorite teacher a shout out, we're doing it just this week alone. But send me a pic and a write-up to my email, dchancellor@sbgtv.com. You can also message me, Facebook, Instagram, X. Going to show as many as we can all week here on News 4 at 6 a.m. All right, I love that story. I love this story as well. A local restaurant's getting all kinds of praise all over the country right now. It made the New York Times top 50 list. It's called Isidore. It's one of the new restaurants there in the Pullman Market in the Pearl.
News 4 San Antonio's Christina De Leon joins us live with more on what the Times says makes this restaurant so great and what they have to offer. Good morning, Christina.
Good morning, Marissa. Good morning, everyone. It's a farm-to-table market restaurant, and their menu offers everything from Wagyu steak to mesquite beans and buttermilk pie. And that food obviously getting some high praise from the New York Times, making the top 50 list. Isidore has only been open in Pearl's Pullman Market since last year, so according to the Times, it takes a lot to make the list. You know, these reporters and editors took flights, eating 200 meals in 33 states to get a better picture of what's happening across the country. They showed up unannounced and made reservations, paid for all their own food, didn't take anything free. When the owners found out that they made this list for top 50, they posted on Instagram in part, quote, "We're beyond excited for this achievement. Our team works hard to create a one-of-a-kind, truly Texas experience." They go on to say, "Our standard from the start has been to go all in on the bounty of Texas, incorporating fun techniques, textures, and flavors." So a big congratulations to them and a big shout out to Isidore there in the Pearl. Reporting live, I'm Christina De Leon. Send it back to you.
Now your certified most accurate 4-zone weather with meteorologist Jeannette.
Gonna have to check that place out. All right, let's talk weather. So it is September 10th, and this is the day that the hurricane season in the Atlantic Basin peaks. That's where we are today. Keep in mind that hurricane season runs through the end of September, but we're not expecting any tropical activity in the Atlantic Basin, at least not for the next week. We'll be on the other side of that after today, and the hurricane season does run through November. No development next 7 days in the Atlantic. Temperatures, in case you missed them, here they are. It is another beautiful, comfortable, coolish, refreshing start to the day. Low 60s anywhere from the north side of San Antonio up into Bernie and Kerrville. Mid 60s closer to New Braunfels. Down towards the south, it's a tad bit cooler compared to yesterday. We do have this heads up ozone action day, also known as an air quality alert day, because the air is stagnant. There's not going to be a lot of mixing. We are going to see high levels of ozone pollution coming down to the surface. So you may want to limit time outside if this tends to bother you, and that's from this afternoon into the evening. High pressure, that's slowly building in from the west. That's keeping things dry here. However, on the northern side of that ridge, there's some rain across the panhandle of Texas into Oklahoma and Kansas. That's moving off towards the southeast, but not headed this way. There goes the ridge. It'll be shifting a little farther to the east and northeast through the week. Clockwise flow around high pressure, once it sets up farther to the east and northeast, will help to bring in a bit of Gulf moisture. Tomorrow, late in the day, there could be a shower from eastern Bexar County to the eastern zone, and Friday, a repeat of that. Let's take a look at future radar. So this afternoon, it's going to be sunny. Down towards the south, some scattered high clouds. Tomorrow in the afternoon, it does look mostly sunny. There goes that small rain chance in the eastern zone and near the coast. After 4 p.m., there could be a shower that moves into eastern Bexar. For Friday in the afternoon, it's mainly down across the south and east where we could see a couple of showers. Let's take you through this Wednesday. Another glorious, great morning. Temperatures in the upper 60s. Through 7 a.m. near 70 at 8. At noon, we're closer to 83, 84. This afternoon, 93, 94 degrees. So hot, but at least not too far off from where we should be this time of the year. And it's a dry heat. 7-day forecast tomorrow, 69 to 95. There goes that small rain chance Thursday. Over the weekend, slightly warmer and a bit more humid, but not uncomfortable. And that pattern keeps going through early next week. Here's the extended forecast for the other 3 zones. In the western zone, 10-20% rain chance Sunday through early next week. Pretty dry and quiet in the hill country, low 90s. Eastern zone, mid 90s for high temperatures for the most part.
Live again from your South Texas Ford dealer, Sky 4, photojournalist David Mendoza tracking this for most of the morning. A major rollover crash on the east side of San Antonio, just east of 410. And this is one of several crashes in that area that we've seen so far. David, good morning. It looks like we still have a way to go before we can get this cleared out. One of those cars still on its side, right?
Yes, continuing to track this accident. 3-vehicle head-on rollover accident. One of those vehicles still being on its side. We got at least another hour before they get this vehicle back on its wheels and the road cleared up. It is pretty congested in the area. Also on 410 northbound, we're still dealing with this accident over here, a single vehicle involved accident, possibly a hit and run, causing a delay on the northbound lanes of 410 right after I-10. I'll leave you with that. So have a great day. Drive safe. Back to you.
All right, thank you, David. We appreciate it. So about a 30-minute delay in the northbound lanes of 410 as you're approaching 90 because of that crash. And then here's where that other crash was along Seguin Road and Ben Zingelman. Real quickly, I do have another wreck on the northeast side causing a 20-minute delay in the westbound lanes of Loop 1604 at O'Connor. Here's a live picture of that. Very slow going. That's the latest with your on-time traffic.
So I was looking at the menu of Isidore. It looks delicious.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty penny.
Save your pennies. Save your pennies.
Well, thank you so much for watching.